Hey guys, welcome to 33 Immortals. This game, if you have never heard about it, is an action-packed roguelike from Thunder Lotus Games. Now, this developer is known for Spiritfarer before this, a game I actually haven't personally played. It launched in early access back on March 18th, 2025 for the Epic Store and Game Pass on PC. So maybe that's why you haven't heard about it or played it if you're one of those who only go to Steam like a lot of us do. Now, this is actually just based on Dante's Divine Comedy, if you know what that is. And it's journeying through Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. And you take the role of a damned soul who's rebelling and fighting for eternal life instead of accepting your fate as a servant or a soul stuck in one place and trapped. And you actually managed to tick off quite a lot of people, including God himself, who tries to send down fireballs to murder you at times in the game. Now, for the gameplay structure, it is up to 33 players, at least in the Inferno, which is where you're seeing in the video. This is the main first section that you can get in without the cost of anything. These sessions last about 30-ish minutes, and they're very similar to MMO raid structures. You start out in the Dark Forest. You get a character. You can pick from melee, range, tank, and support. You have different NPCs you can interact with, like Dante, Beatrice, Virgil, and Sharon, that all do different things. Now, some of what they do is Beatrice is the leader who guides players, and she is where you want to go to do different feats in order to level up to get a lot stronger. Virgil has the compendium, a lot of knowledge as you continue to learn things about the game. Dante is tied to the perk system and a way to just be a little bit stronger. Definitely not as good as Beatrice if you're trying to get up there in strength. And Sharon, who just is strictly cosmetic items. Now, the combat mode, you saw us enter at the beginning of the video through something known as the Eternal Gate. And we are now exploring a torture chamber. As you beat these chambers, you will have the opportunity to unlock one of two chests. You'll see in the top left and right here by me, that there are chests. The left one is unlocked, the right one needs a key, which I have in my inventory right now, so I will be able to use that if we win. Now, usually you'll have 6 people max in these torture chambers. It kind of becomes a race, and if you win, those chests will then unlock, which you can see here. There's just one enemy left, and we just have to take him out. And after that, we get to go up. Torture chamber completed. And for this first map, there are 12 torture chambers that you'd have to beat, and there's one secret one. Now, the secret one actually gives you an extra buff to fight the raid boss at the end, where you ascend. Before you can ascend, you fight in an ascension battle. These are 3 huge battles that take place throughout the map. A land of fire kind of starts pushing in to push you onto those ascension battles and force you there. If you win, you get legendary relics, which really help with the final boss encounter. In Inferno, that final boss is Lucifer, who is essentially a raid boss, and when we get to him in the video, I'll talk to you about what you're supposed to do and kind of some of the issues that we have with this game being a 33 player team heavy oriented game that doesn't have much in terms of communicating with one another. The only way you can communicate is through emotes, and we'll talk about those limitations in a bit. Now, in terms of progression and replayability, after a session, you would go back to the Dark Forest to upgrade your loadouts, unlock some permanent perks, equip items, and cosmetics as you want to. And you'll have procedural elements to ensure varied maps, enemy placement, relics, and challenges each of your runs. Now, for this game, It is obviously hand-drawn 2D animations. It works well for what it is. It's their first attempt at an online multiplayer game, which was prototyped at 100 players but scaled back to 33 players. I actually have no problem with that. I think that it works pretty well. Some of the roadmap for this game is this summer they're working on more of the training modes and something known as the ordeal system. And they're actually adding Paradiso World, so this whole new third world, new monsters and boss encounters in the fall of this year, followed by a full release in 2026. The music, I actually really like it. They do really well, especially when we get to the raid boss. And this MMO raid structure is really nice if you just want to skip straight to the raiding without all the max leveling that it takes in an MMO RPG, where you have to go around and do all the side quests in the world. Alright, so why didn't this game get more just like people in it? Well, there's a couple reasons. I think the biggest one, or their biggest miss, is just the fact that it's only on Epic Store and Xbox Store. I think that kind of hurt the player count, ironically, that they actually need the players from Steam in order to get this game more hyped. Also, I don't really see much advertising for this game. I honestly, if I didn't look for it myself, wouldn't have been able to tell you about the different things coming up in the plans that they have and what they're going to be adding. So hopefully they'll get some advertisements around once the game comes out. Now, currently there's only 4 weapons with plans for up to 14 weapons, which I really hope start to come in. The 4 weapons are okay. Each class has a really great synergy with their co-op powers that really help enhance the game. And you have an empathy stat that enhances your co-op abilities, your resurrection speed, and reduces your death penalty. Now, you can revive down players who are in a 30-second soul state, and they can only be revived once. After that, they're going to die permanently. You can actually party up to 4 with 4 friends, and matchmaking will fill the rest, which is an issue again I'll get to in a bit. And you have all of these players together on this one map, hopefully working together. So some things I really like: this 33 player roguelike is unique. It has a pretty interesting narrative and a good art style. It's got some high replayability with the random maps and these perks that you can add on and relics you can get. It has some engaging co-op mechanics. There's a lot that you need to do with other people for the game to work. Some of the cons here is the early access is missing Paradiso, so there's not too much to do. There's some bugs sometimes with progression, especially if your feet breaks. That never feels good if it doesn't track that. Some of the enemies feel spongy. They have like a lot of health. Now that could be an issue of co-oping. And the party cap at 4 isn't necessarily the greatest. If I had 22 friends I want to play this game with, I want to be able to, 32. I want to be able to have 33 all in one game. That'd be a lot of fun. And the roadmap, I mean, it doesn't necessarily suggest enough is going to be added. Now, if you are thinking about playing this game, here are some tips for you that you may not realize when playing. First off, I'd highly recommend you play with someone who can explain it to you. You need that great coordination. Since this game is so limited on telling you what's happening or what to do, hopefully you have a friend who can help you with that. Another thing is the empathy stat. It's not quite clear. It actually helps you with stronger co-op abilities. If you're playing something like the Archer, your co-op ability is super important. Get empathy. You'll need it. It also helps with survivability. A lot of people don't know that the empathy, when you res someone, they'll actually res with more health the more empathy they have. And you'll be able to res people faster if you have it. It's all around just good for co-op assisting. And when you're doing this game, make sure you take the time to learn each weapon's team power. Figure it out before boss fights preferably, so that you can use it in the correct manner and you don't just have arrows that miss. And one thing you'll want to make sure you're doing is get into those torture chambers. You want to boost your relic progression. You want to try to get 8 relics if possible. That really helps you out. And get ready for possible bugs and maybe crashes. But overall, this is an ambitious, unique take on an MMO style raid experience with roguelike pacing. It's a lot of fun. So let's just talk more about this game and what you've been seeing on the screen. So you start out on the open world map. You go into torture chambers. Now, part of the big reason why I'm already in here is you see on the bottom right is I have a few things. Tab will open the world map. Alt will let me use different emotes, which are key for communication. And then it shows some different symbols there. The stone with the yellow on it is a teleport stone. Those are actually really important. I suggest that you have, if you can, at least 2 to be really helpful in the Ascension battles, which I'll talk about when we get to those. Ultimately, you just want to be able to teleport at times, and you should at the very least hang on to 1 for sure. Don't use it willy-nilly, otherwise you're going to get caught in a bad spot later. You have keys, self-explanatory. They are used to open the chest on the right there, and so far that is all they do. So make sure, if you can, before you go into a torture chamber, have a key ready to get 2 relics instead of 1 when you get in. And the bones on the third and final thing, that is to help you buy things outside of the torture chambers. So before we came in, you maybe saw this kind of bone statue thing. You can buy health. If you've lost some health, you can recover 25% of it. And if you use it with others around, they can actually recover 10% of their health, which is nice. Not enough people communicate, though, that they're going to do that, so you usually miss out on that. You can buy teleport stones for 50 bones and keys for 100 bones. And all of those are good things, very useful. Bones are nice to have, especially if you are taking a lot of damage. You may want to have a collection of bones. It's 25 bones to heal for 25%, which is something good, and you should need it or use it if you need it. Some other UI things that you are seeing on the screen. On the top right, you can see a little lock symbol above the circle. That means no one else can join this game. We are stuck at 23 players. So something has happened to 10 of the 33, and you'll find that it happens a lot. I have never seen a game where all 33 make it to the end. These dungeons, these torture chambers, are dangerous. A lot of people usually fall in them, especially the secret torture chamber that spawns like 5 different bosses in it. It's pretty rough. Alright, so here we got 2 relics. We're at 6 out of 8, which is really good. Gives you a lot of different strengths. Here you can see those 3 things. And on the very bottom right, you see a purple looking circle. Well, it's almost filled with this purple liquid, and you see these enemies dropping it. As you kill enemies, they drop something called dust. You can use that dust to level up. And mine's almost full. And then I will be able to level up at one of the purple orbs that you kind of see around the map. So maybe I'll be doing that soon. I'm looking for question marks right now, getting more bones to possibly use. Just killing a few enemies here. Hopefully looking for that level up, which I'm, again, really close to, so I definitely want it. You can even see on the map there's a treasure chest, super useful. Treasure chests can have keys, and I finally leveled up. You can choose between attack, you can choose your vitality, or you can choose your empathy. Again, attack is pretty self-explanatory, you just get more damage. Vitality, you just get more health. Empathy is more things with co-op, very useful, especially for a beginner. I don't really go empathy, and you can even see it in my stats, the 18, 13, and 1, the sword, heart, and people hugging on the bottom left near the health bar. And, well, it's okay to not go for it, I think, on the melee class, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So, really, you go around this open world map, leveling up, looking for treasure chests, because they can drop you keys, and they drop a lot of bones that can help you heal, like I've said before, if you need healing at the statues in front of the torture chambers, a good thing to use. So, kind of the loop here, or what you want to do, is you want to go on the open world, find question marks, look for things like treasure chests, and get the loot inside. Get the bones, get the keys. Definitely buy teleport stones at torture chamber entrances. And hopefully with those things, you're going to be at a good start when you play this game. Now, the class I'm playing is the melee class. It's my favorite class right now. When the greed bar is full, you can see on the bottom below my health, there's a greed bar. It goes up the more I hit people. It goes down if I don't hit people enough. And if I use this move called Vanquish, then it does a lot of damage if the bar is full. But it also decreases the bar to nothing. And if I miss, it also decreases it to nothing because of a talent I have on. But this class, I feel like, is really strong for solo play, and even in parties is still good. I feel like it's great at killing ads, which is ultimately what I wanted to do. Especially if you're alone and you can't communicate with people, because there is just an emote wheel to communicate with people. I would die for at least text chat, maybe a voice chat, like if it could be somehow local, that would be really cool and helpful. Like just make it so you can only hear people within the certain area close enough to you. But this game is so well designed for co-op that you need a better way to communicate to help each other. Because I find that if I don't have that, well then I'd need a party of 4 in order to communicate fully with the group I'm in. And that really helps get you through things and get XP. And sure, I can try to follow people, it's just not as effective, right? So hopefully they start adding that. On the very bottom left, you can see a co-op power that I'm not using, which hopefully eventually I will use it, but you hold a button down and it summons something where you need other people to stand on it. And this is actually the last Wrath of God, essentially, before the Ascension battles. So I have a big gripe with Ascension battles. Ascension battles are key to winning the game. If you win an Ascension battle, you get a legendary relic that is a buff to help you fight the final boss. Now, what happens with these essential battles is a lot of players will just stack on top of each other. You can see here, I actually go to wherever there's the least amount of people, and sometimes this doesn't work out for me. Alright, so I'm here with just my friend. We're the only two at this Ascension battle, and he's already low health, so he's probably going to die. I believe that he does. And we're all on our own against an army. Ascension battles are meant to be hard. They're meant to be split up pretty evenly so you can get all 3 buffs. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people just see a ton of people and they want to ascend. They want a chance at fighting the final boss. Well, they're going to have that chance and they're going to lose. What happens is sometimes there'll even be like 6 people or 4 people that are left fighting an Ascension. And if you just let them all die, you don't teleport over to help after your Ascension battle is over, then you just lost 4 people that could have helped you fight Lucifer. And that's crazy important. You need those people. It makes it so much easier to take on the raid boss at the end. I'm pinging assist me now because I want them to notice. We just see an Ascension battle's been won. I want them to make sure they get over here to help us. But just sometimes they won't come over to help. And that is so frustrating. Right, this is a team-based game. In this game, they actually do come. So this is people teleporting in with those teleport stones. That's exactly what you need and why you need teleport stones, so people can come and help during the Ascension battles. Because what happens is this flame just takes over the map, pushing you into the 3 different areas. And the only way you can go help someone else is if you have these teleport stones to fly past all of the fire essentially and get straight into the heat of battle with these other teammates. So at the Ascension battles, you have massive hordes of enemies to fight and bosses to kill, and if you kill the bosses, then you get a legendary buff. And you just saw one pop on the screen because 2 of the 3 Ascension battles are over. This is the last one. And actually, fun fact if you didn't know, the little star in the middle, you can see it filling with light. If it fills all the way and you're still not done with this battle, the flames will come circling in and kill you. Alright, so that's what I'm talking about when I say, wow, those 13 people that already ascended are risking the chance of 8 others not making it. Right, please save your teleport stones and help your friends finish all 3 of the Ascension battles. It's important. There are so many runs where I know we're gonna lose because they only finish 1 Ascension, and I'll admit that beforehand I would go with them and ascend, and we would just die to Lucifer. There was no chance. You would lose your people. They wouldn't be able to ascend. You can see the fire closing. That's what would happen exactly if you take too long, and you end up dead. Right, that's it. No one's gonna make it. But here we got the 3 Ascension battles done. We got 3 buffs that help us fight Lucifer. One of them was great because it allowed any player who had damage to be fully healed, which was huge for my friend in my party. He came back with full life and just perfect for the fight here. Now this is Lucifer, a raid boss. Not enough people know what to do with Lucifer. And guys, there's a compendium for a reason. There's a lot of information that's stored in there to teach you how to fight these raid bosses. And it's clear that a lot of people don't read it. Now at the start, you can only hit Lucifer, his heart, and you would want to do that. Do as much damage as you can. If you have your co-op ability for the rain of arrows that people are doing, do it. And then here, where they start summoning these guys that are blue, like bosses, take them out. Don't try to focus the boss anymore. Right, you can't do it. His heart is protected, he takes less damage during this time. He is about to summon, or do a ability known as the Last Betrayal. Now, if you don't kill all of the ice guys, the Last Betrayal will take over the entire floor, guaranteeing you to take damage of some kind. But if you destroy all the ice guys, then it won't take over the entire floor, and there will be space for you to dodge, which is really, really useful. And there are other mechanics. I'll talk to you about them as they go. But while we're waiting here, attacking the boss, some people are on ad clear because we destroyed all the ice guys, and now we're just doing damage because that's all there is left. Then I wanted to talk really quick about, real quick here. You saw the eyes light up. We actually did so much damage that didn't matter, but that meant the left side was going to be safe. And yeah, it's just a quick little thing that people don't know, because I've seen so many people die to that without dodging the area of effect that it does. But Purgatorio right now is unplayable. So it's a mode that has 22 people allowed in it, but there aren't enough players in the game or something. Every time I try and play that mode, there's only like 7 players on that map. Never works out. It's way more difficult than Inferno. But if people want to start playing the game and getting up there and buffs and stuff, then please do, and make sure you get to Purgatorio and help out there where people need it. There's just not enough players right now. Which is really unfortunate, because it makes this like the only content available for the game, which isn't necessarily true. There is the other map, which is a lot more difficult. I don't even know what the raid boss is for it, because we've just never gotten to it. But maybe I'll make another video on that mode, or on that map, if that's something that you wanted to see. So here we had broken the ice bands. Again, another thing that people ignore. You see the ice bands, you need to destroy it. Otherwise, this frozen hate attack will cover the whole floor and not just part of it. But because we broke the ice bands, we're allowed to be more free there and even continue doing damage, which is really huge. Yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It's very unique. It's very sad that this game isn't getting as much press as it deserves. I feel like a lot of more people would enjoy it than who actually play it right now. So hopefully you'll consider playing it. Maybe you already have Game Pass. You should try out this game. If you don't and you have Epic, well, it is on Epic Game Store. I'm not sure the price actually, because I've only played on Game Pass so far, and we'll see if when they take it off, which I'm sure is inevitable, if I played it enough to enjoy it to buy it, or we'll see. Maybe it will make it to Steam by then, but I guess I could buy it on the Game Store actually, which I believe the price on Game Store, if I had to remember, is about, it's on sale right now for $15.99. It would be $19.99 normally, which honestly, with the content the way it is, I'm not sure if $19.99 is worth it. I think $15 is closer to what it should be. I know, only $5 difference, but I think so. And here you have all these frozen tiers. Another mechanic, you gotta make sure you destroy the tiers. A tip I have is, if you are one of the archers, you should put your arrows below all the tiers on the left to right and let them fly. It is the most effective way to get rid of the tiers, especially if you don't know. We are all struggling because we're on ice. It's hard to move. When you're on the ice, you slide around, making this boss battle that much more difficult. But Lucifer himself is in fact almost dead. We destroyed all the tiers there, so we won't get murdered by this ability. Again, if we didn't destroy them all, the whole floor would be covered, but since we did, we are good to go and continue attacking Lucifer here, which is great for us because we are going to succeed in this run, right? Which honestly doesn't happen enough, especially because of the ignoring of the ascension buffs. But hopefully, maybe you'll have some interest in this game. You'll like what you see here. Maybe you love MMO style raids and you just want to be raiding all the time. That's what this game is for. It's raiding. And this is all the fun of raiding. That's really compact into one quick thing that you can just do more and more runs of, improve on, maybe even figure out how to communicate with people effectively with your emotes, which I still don't think is enough, but maybe you'll have some fun with it. Send some crying faces when you know you're gonna lose, but hopefully you can slay Lucifer a bunch of times when you play this game, and maybe even move on to Purgatorio and slay whatever that raid boss is, which probably is pretty difficult given how fun and difficult the mechanics of Lucifer was to figure out. I think it would be a lot of fun to figure out the second boss. Unfortunately, just haven't had enough people playing that mode, or that map rather, in order to figure that out. But I'll keep trying and we'll see. Maybe we'll figure out that map soon or get to play more of it. Yeah, let me know if you planned on playing this game, if you think you would enjoy it, or if there are other types of games that you have been more interested in lately. But this is a fun little roguelike that I think should have more players. It's a unique game. People don't talk about it enough, and it should be noted just how fun this game is, and the mechanics, and needing to dodge things. And it's like just the right amount of difficulty for the first map to introduce people. I think you definitely need to be pretty strong and far into the game to do the second map, which is part of the problem. And here you can actually see we failed to destroy all the tiers, so we're getting hurt by the ice. Right, but I had enough health to live, which is good. And we ultimately beat Lucifer. So there's one raid if you haven't seen one. Again, these things take on average of 30 minutes, and they are pretty fun overall. If you ever wanted to check it out, it's on Game Pass for now, and that's a great place to go and try out games that you haven't had the chance to play before if you already have Game Pass. So there's our celebratory arrows. Leave a like and comment if you want to see more. I'll see you next time. Bye.